Hello, good afternoon, and welcome everyone. It's wonderful to have you here on board for the Africam show in association with explore.org. My name is Amy, and I'll be with you for the show today. I'm so excited and looking forward to chatting with you all. I know many of you are here and on board, ready to go. Remember that this is a live and interactive show, so wherever you're watching, please do send through your comments and questions to me. Well, we're starting off with a beautiful herd of eddies here at Hyena Pan. And they're looking very relaxed. There's a little one there on the left. Oh, don't we just love baby elephants? Looks like it's been suckling from mom there. You can see her front mammary glands quite pronounced. Almost looking like that little one wants to suckle again. Oh. And coming back over towards where the other one's having a bit of a push at the moment. Hello to everyone. Yes, Casper, you say happy Tuesday, Amy. We have sweet ginger tea and granola today. Sounds wonderful. Bouchard are watching from a gloomy Toronto. Amber, you say, yay, it's Tuesday and the Africam show day. You've got coffee and a blueberry muffin here to go as you're watching. You are saying good morning from Seattle. You're ready with your coffee, and thanks for being here, Amy. It's a pleasure. Oh, it's so good to hear. Be a bowl of kittens. You're also saying hello, Amy. It is wonderful to be with you. Everyone sounds like they've got some great snacks. I feel like I should have brought better snacks with me. Mind you, we do chat quite a lot that I don't know if I'm even going to get to my few little sweeties that I have here with me. But those snacks sound wonderful. Well done, everyone. Bouchard, you are asking about the snow. Well, yes, over the weekend we had a cold front move through the country and snow fell, mainly around the Drakensberg Mountains of South Africa. And there's been several photos shared of elephants, like the ones we're looking at, particularly at a reserve called Nambiti, which is in sort of the very western part of the province known as KwaZulu-Natal. And that's within Drakensberg mountain range or very close by to it. And there were some amazing photos. I think there was lions in the snow, there was elephants in the a few that had snow fall on them due to the location of the reserves. It's always wonderful to relax with a herd of elephants doing their thing here. Oh, look at this little one. What are you doing, little guy? And they tend to congregate around this water trough where some of the fresh water is pumped to them. And they love to come and drink, particularly from this spot, and then use the rest of the water hole to splash themselves with water and mud, really. They sometimes even churn it up with their feet. Some more comments coming through about everyone's snacks. April Owl, you say good morning from a sunny Connecticut, and you've got a berry muffin and coffee with vanilla soy milk. Oh my goodness. Hubert, you are saying greetings from Bluegrass State of Kentucky. in the USA. Bowl of kittens, you say you've got tonic water and a peanut oat bar. Oh my goodness, everyone is making me very hungry this afternoon. Well, it's afternoon where I am in South Africa. Karoo, you say, I've got milk and a regular banana. Okay, fantastic. I can relate to the milk and regular banana. I'm going to have to up my snack game when I do these shows, that's for sure. Can hear the greater blue-eared starlings also calling in the background. I saw one or two hop down. Oh, the little one is out again, the little elephant. It's not the tiniest elephant I've ever seen. It definitely has sort of control over its trunk and has an idea that it is an elephant, but I would say it's still maybe under a year old or so. There are a few bigger ones. Oh, there's a very small one on the right as well that's busy. I don't know, is it rubbing against that log? Can never get tired of baby elephants, can you? Endless entertainment. Pleasure. I'm glad that I could answer the question. I know that it has sort of been something, I suppose maybe snow isn't associated with South Africa so much, just because generally it's quite a warm country and we have plenty of sunshine, unless you live more in the Western Cape. And having a lot of rain and clouds this winter season, which is their wet season. So it is an appropriate time of the year to have the wet weather. But yes, there are parts of South Africa that it does snow. We've got the incredible Drakensberg mountain range, as well as quite a few others situated throughout the country. And indeed, those higher lying areas do experience snow now and then. Karoo, that's a fascinating question. Thank you for asking that. You want to know if like thicker fur in snowy areas like other mammals do in areas with snow. So because it's actually a very rare thing to find lions in the snow, from what I understand about their natural habitats, definitely in more warmer climates, whether that's through in Asia or in Africa, the two continents where we find lions. And perhaps if over time they're constantly exposed to that very, very cold climate, we might see a thickening of their fur. But at this stage, no, I don't believe that they do form a thicker coat, even if they are in a place, for example, like Nambiti, that's now experienced a snowfall. That isn't necessarily something that's happening all year or very often, even though it's wintertime. So it's a uncommon event. So they do have, together with being able to, retain body heat or being a social cat, having others around, that would help them to be able to survive in those circumstances. And also, those are climatic conditions that won't extend further than, unless it's very, very strange, which, with the way the climate is changing these days, is a possibility for the future. But at this stage, in the immediate future, it's not like these lions are being exposed to minus temperatures where they're going to need that extra bit of fur. Bashard, it is say, if we're talking about this particular elephant that I'm looking at the moment, I would say maybe a year. Usually, if they are 6 months or less, they can still fit underneath mom's belly. That's very much on average, though. And as soon as they start developing little sort of pinprick husks, the little white, almost like pearls, start developing on the side of their face, they're about 3 years old. So I would say this little one here would be about one, but I know there was a smaller one that was further away from the pan, which it was a bit tricky to judge exact size. But when they are still quite short as well, then we're looking at 6 months or less. But at this age, I would say over 6 months, possibly around the year mark. April Owl, I mean, I think everyone agrees with you. I haven't met a person yet who doesn't enjoy baby elephants. And to that person, I would have to ask why. What is there not to love about baby elephants? And they seem to be having just a sort of a resting moment, which is very normal for elephants to take the time to relax a little bit. They've had a good drink, maybe a little bit of a splash in the mud. And now they're just taking a moment. They're not feeding from what I can see. It's more also just giving the little ones a chance to have a rest. I can imagine they may have to travel quite far to get to this waterhole, and then also travel quite far again to get enough nutrition, especially at this time of the year. Oh, this little one is just too cute. Oh, beautiful. We are here at Lentoin in Kenya, and oh, this is a beautiful starling that's here drinking. And just look at that reflection. I believe this is a Shelly starling, which was a new species that I discovered at this location. I'm very familiar with the superb starlings of the area. But this one's slightly different. It's got a darker eye, more reddy orange eye, and also that beautiful sort of orange color on the belly extends just over the start of the wings, which is also different. Superb starling, and it's just glowing in the iridescence. How gorgeous was that? Looks like there is a dove there now as well. And what an amazing place for birding actually this location is. And birding definitely puts the camera controllers to the test. I do envy them when the birds have to move so much, but we're very grateful that we get to look at them nonetheless. Actually looked like an African mourning dove with the red eye ring. But it's always nice to explore and see what may be hiding away from us in between everything as well. Oh, there's something in the background there. What is that? Ah, a monkey. Look at that. I thought there was something moving there. Maybe also coming for a drink. Oh, well, apologies, everyone. The camera feed was a bit unstable there, but we've come back here to Botswana, to Hyena Pan, and this elephant's cooling off. Looks like some of the boys are hanging around. Bears, you say hi. You have a question for me. I love questions. You say, do elephants have enough to eat and drink in the area? You're concerned about whether there's enough there for them. So, cat bears, I understand your concern. I mean, the appearance of the landscape here does look quite bare, but we have to remember that elephants are amazing at being very resourceful, and of course, pans like this that are supplied with water are a massive help. So because for various reserve management reasons, decide to supply water at this particular water hole. We can see that in this trough here. And so the elephants definitely have water. When it comes to food, the trees that you see around here are mapanis. And they actually hold their leaves very late into the season. A few of them in the background still have them, but a lot of the leaves that you're seeing on the ground, sort of that orangey color, besides the elephant dung, are mapani leaves, which can also provide great food resource for these animals throughout the year and especially into the dry season. Then another thing with elephants is that they can actually get a lot of nutrition from bark. They have the ability to do that as well as roots from trees. And you can see there are quite a lot of trees still around here. And because we still find elephants here, because after generation, they have been full breeders in breeding, and they've been able to survive. Otherwise, they would have left or gone extinct in this area if there wasn't enough availability of resources for them. So I know it can look quite bleak at the moment, but these elephants definitely do have enough of everything they need to survive in the area. Mule, no silly questions here, not at all. You want to know with when it comes to monkeys and particularly baby monkeys running around, how do the mothers know which one is theirs? You've seen moms just grab out and take a little one as it runs by. And that's possibly when there might be a threat around or when they need to move off quickly or something like that. And because they of their social structure, they all really did, and so they have that freedom to, you know, have little ones or take them and they jump around from different adult to different adult. Not really when they're very, very small, still suckling, and that the little ones that still have dark fur stay quite attached to mom on her belly. But they do know which is their mom, and that's a lot to do with scent. It's something that they will know, particularly who their mom is. They've spent a lot of time attached to her, and especially in that suckling stage at the beginning of their life before they weaned later on. So there's even though it does look very random, and sometimes there are babies riding on different one or being held by different adults, they would still know who their mom is, particularly by scent. There might also be visual markers that they use, but yeah, I think for them, although to us all of them look very much the same, they can differentiate between the individuals based off of scent and appearance. Also, just to touch on at Lentor, we had that starling that was at the waterhole. I know there were some comments about it being a Hildebrand starling, which is 100% correct. So the alternative name is Shelley's, or the alternative name for Shelley's is Hildebrand. It's the same bird. I love when these elephants rest their trunks like that. They're just having a break. And there really is no rush for these ellies. I mean, they can take as long as they need to have their drink, spend time at the water. Oh, that one at the back's giving a sniff to something when they lift their trunk up like almost like a telescope, except a telescope with smell capabilities is often when they're detecting a scent that they want to pick up on. Oh, wonderful. There are some buffalo and two beautiful kudu bulls coming for a drink. How is the lighting this afternoon? This is gorgeous. You can see the one on the left has a much fuller set of horns compared to the one on the right, so a few years older, that individual. And often kudus, just like buffaloes or many of the animals out here, the males will associate with one another, hang out together. But these two boys are particularly impressive, goodness me. Full of oxpeckers. The birds hitching a ride there, keeping those boys nice and clean. Maisie Milsha, I'm glad that you can ask those questions. Like I said, no silly questions whatsoever. If there's something that you're wondering about, even if you think it might be silly, please do ask. That buffalo is now moving off there to the left. There were a few of them here earlier. Oh, Karoo, yeah, no problem. To be completely honest, I didn't know it had an alternative name either. I had to just check up on my resources here. But yes, the name that I was familiar with was Shelley's. It all has to do sometimes with the scientists that discover these things and so forth. So, oh, there's a giraffe on its way. I know in Southern Africa we get the Shelley's Franklin as well. So I assume that is the same Shelley after which the starling was named. Oh, this is just the most beautiful waterhole. I mean, they all are beautiful for their own reasons, but the reflection is incredible. A photographer's dream, if I don't say so myself. Oh, this one's got a lighter patch on its side. It's always funny how sometimes that happens with the markings. I like to think of it almost like a birthmark. Like we get a slightly darker patch on our skin or something like that. Sometimes they patches, the melanin is missing in certain. This is an impressive male giraffe here. You can see it by a few different ways. Of course, between the back legs there, you can see the penile sheath. Almost looks like a bit of a belly button from the side, but with giraffes, it's actually quite easy to identify the male by his ossicones or his horns on top of the head there, especially when he's leaning forward. You can see how bald they are at the top and also quite thick in comparison to most that are quite skinny, their horns, and very fluffy on top. Yeah, Bouchard, I mean, it is one of those things that is always fascinating, isn't it? I mean, I've seen animals defecate, urinate in the water. There's a lot of funky stuff happening in these waters, especially as we get into the end of the dry season, particularly in southern Africa now, not so much East Africa, although it is dry at the moment as well. But some of the water holes that I'm familiar with that aren't pumped, so they don't get fresh water into them, get really manky towards the end of the dry season. And there's a lot of algae, high nitrogen content in the water. It has quite a smell to it as well. And the reason that these animals don't get sick is because their stomachs are completely different to ours. They have a lot of different bacteria, enzymes, things like that within their stomach that are able to manage and also filter out that bacteria. Where we take of these water holes water, and I think we'd be sick from. They've built up resistance. So because of the constant exposure to those parasites and bacteria, they are able to resist and have immunity to a lot of the diseases that are born in the water. Oh, some more elephants here at Tau in Madikwe Game Reserve in South Africa. Always wonderful to see them coming down for a drink. And there's a little one as well. How cute is that? Mr. UAE, you want to know what my favorite is? Oh, it's a tricky one to answer. I know I do get asked this quite a lot. So I'll start by saying that my favorite baby animal is a baby rhino. I love baby ellies, but there's something very special about a baby rhino. I had a very special experience with a little rhino when I was actually back a seat of the vehicle, which is right in front. And this rhino mom was so relaxed with my presence, with our presence, but also she had this little baby that couldn't have been more than a few days old. Like, we had seen her pregnant, and then we spotted these two little on top of the sticking out of the grass. It almost looked like an arm. And I was able to just sit there and one right, I was sniffing my toes, and was like running towards us and running back, and they're just so playful. It reminded me a lot of a real puppy dog. And so baby rhinos, without a doubt, my favorite little animal. And then, oh man, I love elephants. They always put a smile on my face, I won't lie. And then also wild dogs are incredible, and I just get so excited at the possibility of seeing them. I think also because they are rare to see. It's not something that we see very often at all. And it's always an exciting adventure when we find them. They also mean I get to off-road a lot with the vehicle to follow them, which is fun. So also one of my favorite, I'm sure. Zygood, I think you make a very valid point in terms of the fact that years ago couldn't filter the water that we drink. And as humans, we probably were a lot more resistant to certain waterborne diseases than we are now. But due to urbanization and civilization in many ways, we've gotten, inverted commas, soft. And there's many more things that affect us now than possibly years ago when we weren't able to filter out water and things like that. But I do think that if we think about people in rainforests or people like the Amazon, like you say, there's a lot of water coming from the recycling of water in that ecosystem. Whereas if we look at these particular water holes that in terms of Africa, in comparison to a different continent or parts of Africa, like these very dry areas where you're not getting that rainforest ecosystem, which has incredibly amazing water production and going through that water process, precipitation process, and the water cycle in general for those inhabitants. I don't think, I may be completely wrong, but I don't think they would find exactly the same challenges, especially with the parasites and bacteria that our African animals bring into water. Got their own creatures there, which are incredible. But I do think that these particular water holes, especially if I think of the ones that I've seen, goodness me, even someone from a very long time ago, to have to drink that water, I can't imagine them being very well whatsoever. But maybe after filtering, maybe they had a system where they could take really manky water like that, filter it through sand, and actually end up with a cleaner product that wouldn't affect the human digestive system so badly. Oh, Bashad, you love baby rhinos as well. I mean, I wish we saw more baby rhinos, to be honest. A sad fact that we so many of them anymore, but hopefully change is coming, and good change at that. And I hope that someone in their life who loves the bush gets to experience a baby rhino at some point. It actually looks like it's quite out here at Madikwe today. Maybe fingers crossed some rain. I know the bush is always just, you can just imagine it being quenched by the water falling from the sky when it does look as dry as it is at the moment. Oh, wow. Look at that bull arriving there. And just look at his size, how much bigger he is than the others, than those females below. He is head and shoulders above the rest. Mr. UAE, you want to know how old I think that bull is? I'm not sure if you're referring to the one that's walking or the one that's standing here. I think this is also a bull just on my left-hand side. It is very difficult to age elephants. We do know that it's a mature individual. It looks like there are actually two bulls standing here, and then the female's leading that little one away to drink on that side. But these bulls could be anywhere from, I would say they all look about 25 plus on average. That particular one that was walking from the back, I didn't get a good enough look to exactly say. But if we look at these two boys here, they don't have too many tears on the ear. They actually look quite in good condition. They're tusked or broken, but their tusks aren't very big, very long and very thick, so they still got some growth. This particular one that we're looking at, it does seem like his tusks are a little bit thicker, a bit wider around the face. Temples there on the skull are sunken in. So all of those are the things we look at to determine the age, an assumption, estimation, of age. Oh, say maybe between 30, 40 years. Truly is an estimation on some of those physical features that I can see, an educated guess. But particularly that head, you can see how sunken in it is around the temple there, which does say that he's a little bit older. If we do get our eyes on the second one, oh, he's moving away. So this boy, he's got longer tusks, quite thick. Ears are still quite clean as well, not very jagged or anything like that. The temples aren't sunken in too much. So I would say maybe 25 to 35, sort of the age bracket below that bull that we were just looking at. He looks quite senior in comparison to this boy. Looks a little bit younger. The skull, the head isn't quite as big compared to the other one. But it's very much a guessing game unless we have we follow an individual from birth. We can just use certain indicators to help guesstimate of elephants. Oh, well, it always is up here in Kenya. Oh, Old Donyo. Look at these giraffes. The sun is setting. You can see that soft golden light coming through and some oryx in between. Oh, Abba, it's a pleasure. The show was great. I can't believe we're almost at the end. That is unbelievable. It's flown by. We had some great chat, and Amber, I'm so glad that you enjoyed the show and that you learned a lot. That is what we are here for, to engage, to learn, and discuss, and also just enjoy watching these animals at the waterhole. Well, sorry about that, everyone. The feed at Oldonyo was freezing, but we're back at Tau and just enjoying the slow and easy life of these elephant bulls. Well, everyone, it's come to the time for me to say goodbye to you all. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for the Africam show. It's been wonderful to be with you, to chat to you all, and I do hope that I will see you all again soon here. But from me and the team, we wish you all a pleasant evening or day ahead, depending where you are in the world. Have a good one. Goodbye.